No, no, no. I'm really into plants, so this is awesome.
Oh, well, while JB's doing that,
Ooh, all right. So let's look.
I'm also a lot shorter than JB.
Uh, how, how tall are you? How tall are you, John?
I'm 6'3".
And I'm 4'11".
I love it. It's like me and my husband. Yeah, yeah,
Really?
5 and 6'4".
Amazing.
But if you don't mind, John, tell me about your background and tell me a little bit what you've done in the last couple of years as a business owner.
So I'm an IT guy by trade. That's kind of what I fell into. Mel and I met in 2012, I think, and then we got together a few years after that. So it's a little bit of a slow burn. And she introduced me to yoga. And yoga for me was a game changer. I'm a giant man. I'm 6'3". I've always had a bad back. I've always had a sore neck. I've always had poor balance, and I'm just awkward and can't find myself in space. And yoga was a real revelation for me. And Mel had been practicing for quite a few years before that. When Mel moved to Perth, where we live now, from Sydney, it gave, and we started living together, it gave her the financial freedom to pursue her dream of becoming a yoga teacher. About 6 months after that, I went and became a yoga teacher as well, because I saw how exciting it was for her and the impact she was having on people's lives and how wonderful it was. And so we did that, and it was probably around March last year that a friend of ours told us about this space that was for sale. We looked into it, we did a lot of research, crunched a lot of numbers, did a lot of soul searching, and eventually put in an offer and bought the property. We have, worked very, very hard to renovate the whole space, spent so many hours here I couldn't even imagine, and a lot of money renovating the space, getting it up and running. And we launched Stones Throw Yoga on the 31st of January. And yeah, so that worked really, really well for about 7 weeks.
So I was going to say this year, just to confirm, this year you launched a business.
Yeah, about 7 weeks ago.
Oh, a lot. How you doing?
Yeah, I mean, the last couple of weeks have been a whirlwind. We did our due diligence, we did our research, we did our projections on revenue and memberships and things. And when we launched 31st of Jan, we thought we maybe would hit a break-even point in 6 months, 9 months, something like that. And we were ready for that. We hit break-even within about 3 weeks. And we started making money. And our business, our brand, our offering, and I think Mel and I as well just resonated with the community, and people love coming here to do yoga, which is incredible. And to break even so quickly and to start making money so early into a new business is absolutely insane. It's such a humbling experience. And then suddenly coronavirus. Today is our first day of no classes. It's really been a period of mixed emotions, because we've actually been ahead of the curve. That's poor phrasing. We've been kind of ahead of the directions from the government, let's say, the whole period along. So we reduced our class numbers from a max of 26 to a maximum of 16 to ensure there was more space around people. Before that was a requirement by the government, because we wanted to keep people safe and healthy. And we're moving on to online. So we've bought some recording gear, we bought some mics, we've done a whole bunch of research. I've learned how to use Adobe Premiere, and we're now becoming online and taking those classes on demand for our members and potentially for other people across Australia as well.
So that's really interesting, because you talked about, just opening up the business, a mere 7 weeks ago. And congratulations, the success you've had in such a short time. But for other business owners, like nationally, but also globally, when the rules are thrown out of the window, it sounds like you've really picked right up and started to tinker with whole bunch of different innovative ways. Do you have any ideas or any thoughts as to what businesses should be doing in this time of shift when the rules are thrown out the window, your projections, anything that you thought to be true?
I think advice for other businesses out there, don't get stuck in a rut. Look at how you can pivot, look at what you can do. There are options. There's some really good opportunities for bringing things online, and the tools are out there. There's so many great tools now to make things work in the online space. The other thing I would suggest is talk to your community. Something that's really given us so much resilience and so much of a lift over the last few days and few weeks. When we made the decision to drop our class numbers from 26 to 16, that has an immediate financial hit on us. But we care about that, but it was more important to make sure that people stayed fit and healthy. So we made that decision. We announced it on social media to our audience, and we got so much positive feedback. That then lifts us up to then push on and do the next piece of work. And it's been the same with announcing the shutdown of the studio. It's been a really hard decision, but the feedback we've got from people has been very positive, and things that you don't expect happen. So we're taking our offering online, so the videos will be available on demand, and we will reduce what people pay for that. So we consider coming into the studio to be a more valuable product than watching videos online. So it'll be a cheaper cost. And we told our members that, and a number of our members have come back to us and said, we love what you do. We want to keep paying the normal price. So for us, that's amazing. People want to continue supporting us, continue financially helping us stay afloat. And that's what they can do to kind of back us up right now.
I guess, how does that work in terms of being in the space together and being connected physically in a yoga presence in a space? How do you think that may or may not change for those of us now working on our practice at home by ourselves?
I think it'll be different. I think one of the reasons that certainly myself and other people practice in a studio is you have a real sense of community, and there's a real energy that you feel in a yoga shala when you're practicing with other people. Practicing on your own, it's going to be different. But what we're trying to do for our students here is have familiar faces, the same teachers that they're used to, the same processes, the same kind of predictable patterns for a class, so that we can do everything that we can to make it as familiar and as comfortable as possible.
Fantastic. I love that. And, when we ultimately get this out there for your community to see, I'm sure that we have a lot more collaborative opportunities across interstate and all of these new connections that we never thought were possible. And that's really exciting as well. Do you have anything else to add with regards to our conversation that I haven't asked so far? Any curious tidbits?
One of the other things that I was going to mention was with our online, our transition to online yoga classes, what we're doing, and I'm really excited about this. This was Mel's idea, and it comes from her experience. Mel is a bit like me. She's a serial entrepreneur. She started a charity in Sydney, an animal welfare charity, which is very successful and did some really amazing work. And they did an event where they were microchipping dogs. And so Mel's qualified to do that. And as part of her charity work, she would do microchipping days. And she set these up as pay what you can. So for people that were lower socioeconomic, they had pets, they knew they needed to have them microchipped, but they didn't have a lot of money. They couldn't go to a vet and pay $70 to have that pet microchipped. But they could come along to this event and pay $5 or $10 or $20. So we were talking about this last night and saying, why don't we adopt this model with our online videos? I think it's a really powerful model because people are struggling right now, or if they're not struggling yet, they're about to start struggling. And if you have financial stress, you're really struggling for work and for occupation, which is so important, at least taking an hour, maybe an hour a day, maybe an hour a week, whatever, to immerse yourself in some yoga, some mindfulness, get out of your own head and just move for an hour. It's so powerful.